Hello everyone, this is Chase Pounds. In today's video, I'm going to be, as part of my Halloween edition, be telling you another supernatural tale from out of the cemetery. In my previous video, it involved an alien that crashed into a small town in Texas and was buried in a cemetery. And today, but in my, but in today's video, I'm going to be telling the story of a local legend in the tropical setting of Key West, Florida, involving supposedly a doctor, I should say, who tried to bring a corpse, attempted to bring a corpse back to life. I've first heard this version of the story from another favorite documentary I watched during my grade school days and my middle school days on the History Channel called Haunted History, where in an episode called Haunted Key West. In this, the story begins involves and when you hear the story, you may not believe it, but it sounds like a story from straight out of films, such as The Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah, but it's a true story. It starts off in Key West, Florida, in the 1920s. There's a girl named Elena Doyles, she's a Cuban Mexican girl who was arrested in Key West, who is described as being very beautiful. She She was known to be a dancer at the Cuban Club, a very good dancer. Her father worked at a cigar factory, a local cigar factory. And it's here that around this time that an outbreak of tuberculosis is taking place. And it's believed that her father worked at the cigar factory in very bad conditions where people were close together and they could easily spread the disease. And unfortunately, her father got it, and I think her siblings got it. It wasn't long before Elena got it. She went to the local Key West hospital and was tested, and that's when she ran into a 50-year-old X-ray technician by the name of Carl Tanzler, also known as Carl von Castell. And he was very good at his job, and was real respected. It was being very nice and dressy, very dapper person. And somehow Carl Tanzler ran into when he met Elena for the first time, kind of had a crush or a love interest for Elena, and even though she wasn't Elena wasn't into Roncaso only but to rid her of her tuberculosis. However, unfortunately, even though with Roncaso's best efforts, she dies from her battle of tuberculosis, unfortunately, and dies on October 19th, Halloween, actually, ironically, on Halloween 31st of 1931. She was only, I think, only 20 at the time, very young. And she was instructed to be buried at the Key West Cemetery, first in the grave, but then moved to a mausoleum that was funded by Roncaso himself. And Roncaso would frequently visit the cemetery, still kind of jokingly called her a bride. he often seen carrying flowers to the cemetery. And it's there that over time that Brancaso would seen the experience the supernatural apparition of Elaine Doyle's spirit talking to him, where she instructed him in a song called La Boda Negros, which is Spanish for the Black Wedding, that tells of a story of a man that loses his sweetheart and can't get over the depth of the loss, and is compelled to dig her body up and take her home, which was a message for Picasso, as in to take Elena's body home, in which he came up with the idea of trying to restore her body back to life. He did so one night in 1933. He actually successfully crept in the cemetery, took her coffin by wagon, and then took her to the hospital to be tested testing efforts to clean her body, decomposition. It's been said that the whole time her spirit was still guiding him as he was taking her out of the cemetery, and he would clean her body with all the decomposition, and then he would wax her body up and kind of cover her body up with decomposition or wax, and spray perfume to get rid of the stench. And she didn't have any eyes, unfortunately, but he fixed her. He especially made some glass eyes for Elena that directly stared at you, and he talked to her like a regular human being. Dressed her, as I said, in nice, beautiful clothes. He actually even claimed that she came back to life. He actually said in his memoirs, "Don't get up so quickly. You've been dead for quite some time." And this may even sound even more disturbing for viewers, for people, but it's actually been discovered in later decades that he had sexual relationship with Elena. And it's not long before her surviving siblings or sister was puzzled why was her body not in the cemetery. And she confronted Brancaso and asked her, "Where is Elena?" And he took her into his home, and there they found her body in bed. In shock and disbelief, they turned to the authorities and called which, by the way, Brancaso lived with Elena in his home for several years, from 1933 all the way up to 1940. And he continued. He continued this for about 7 years. It seems surprising, and people only got suspicious because he was buying excessive amounts of wax and perfumes. But anyway, the authorities arrested Brancaso, and he was placed in jail. The corpse was taken to the local morgue and was did an autopsy on the body, and that's when they found out about the sexual relationships of Brancaso. And the body was actually, interesting enough, the body was on display at the local funeral home, and everyone in the town, most of the people in the town, went to see it. School was even canceled for this occasion, so kids could see it, which I think is kind of disturbing. to have kids see a body like that. And then the body was, once the processions ended, the body was placed in the again back of the Key West Cemetery, this time in an unmarked area, so no one could try and find it and try to tamper with it. I guess what you call grave rob a body. And then as for Picasso, he stood for trial, and they couldn't. It was difficult to try and to prosecute him because of the legislation at the time prohibited. Was something about grave robbing where he wasn't able to be charged in the laws of the Key West, and he was free to go. And it's rumored that he was charged for the willful wrongful destruction of the tomb. It is said that he to get back at the courts, he supposedly set a bomb off in the cemetery, exploding in the area where Elena's old mausoleum was at. Though Picasso was never charged for the explosion, or even been actually proven to be related to the explosion. He left Key West for good, and moved back home, I think to Germany, where he lived the rest of his life up to 1952, where he was found dead. It is said that he made another version of Elena out of this time out of plaster, not from an actual corpse. And there's been even rumors that they could have been switched, that he somehow gave the authorities a fake Elena but took the real Elena with him, but it's never really been proven. And it's been said that Elena's ghost still haunts the cemetery because of what Picasso had done to her, because of what and all she endured, her body endured. Either in the cemetery, the local funeral home, is where a ghost still haunts the place. This is another view by Chase Pounds. Again, this is a true story. Feel free to look it up yourselves. Stay tuned for my next video.